What's this? Close participation. Okay. I don't have a moderator but me. And oh, I'm actually going live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So give me a sec. This is interesting. Try to do the multitasking. Let's see, how do I go live on Facebook? Oh yeah, it's counting now. I hope you guys can hear me on this one. I'm basically using two different machines here. One is on my phone, going YouTube. This one is Facebook. Yes, it is on. Hi everyone. So I am doing another Shawn Realty time, and I'm actually drinking coffee at this moment. I do need to drink more tea. Now the coffee is very acidic, so I actually recently learned that coffee is not really good for your teeth. That might be the reason why I'm having some tooth problems, which I need to fix, which I'm working on. So today I'm going to share about 8 or 9 different items that I made notes here on my notepad. The first one is I'll share with you what happened about a week ago. I made an offer on this one house. What happened with that? There were a lot of offers in a very high competitive situation for the low pricing homes or mid pricing. And I'll talk about like, hey, when you sell your home, is it smart to like price it super low so get multiple offers and what that entails? The other one is the interest rate, what's going on right now. And I have a tweeted this like 2007, 10, 21, and 23 comparison with the pricing appreciation, depreciation during the market crash and try to connect those dots. Uh, I'm just wondering if you can hear me or not. I'm using two different microphones here. Stop thinking about it. Just go to the point. The other one is I'll share the best return on investment when you're talking about home improvement. I think I might have one of the best things that you should do. A message for the marketers and the realtors out there. And 3 things that home buyers should definitely consider, especially moving into a different state or a different city. These 3 things you really have to pay attention to. And then one last note is about sort of like a philosophical thing that I'm practicing right now. So let's dive into it. So the first one, I made an offer for a buyer, a really sweet young couple from San Francisco, about a week and a half ago. It was like about a little bit below $500,000 single family home. And it had about 5, 6 offers by like Sunday morning. And by the time the bid offer due date closed, they had about like 25 offers. Um, and it went up quite over, I think mid 500s. That's my guess. But my buyers didn't get the house. We did okay. We made the top like 5 or something like that, but we didn't get the house. I'm getting like sidetracked on my head because there was I believe it's Kennedy, John F. Kennedy Jr. He was saying that in 2030, by year 2030, about 60% of the single family homes or residential real estate will be owned by big corporations, which is a really alarming thing, which is one of the reasons why I really promote the individual investors owning a few real estate. I think that's hugely important, not just for just making money and building wealth and assets and things like that, but in a whole picture. If more real estate is owned by corporations, that's really losing recipe for people, in my opinion. Um, why am I here? 25 offers, single family home. Oh, yes. So I, I just wonder if that winning bid or top winning bids in this like 25 offer kind of situation, whether they're institutions or not. They could hide under like some random LLC name, but John F. Kennedy Jr.'s claim is that if you trace up, they're connected to one of those like Black Rock type of big corporations. I don't know if it's true or not. But going back to the 25 offer situation, basically the message here is that on a single family home that's like a first time buyer home and slightly above that scale, it's still a really hot market because the rental price is still really high. Even with a high interest rate, buying a home makes a lot of sense for the buyers because you don't end up spending $20,000, $30,000 a year on a rent payment. So that's what's happening. On that thought, I'll briefly touch on pricing it really high and get like 20 some offers versus price it high but competitive enough you get 3 to 5 offers, what that might translate into selling a home for those who are thinking about selling. I'm not sure. I know some agents, there's some agents are known to price it really low to get like 20, 30, 40 offer type of situation. That happened about 2 years ago in 2020 and 2021 when the interest rate was really low. I know some agents do it that way. It's hard to know what's right or wrong or what's the better way to price. But in my opinion, when you let's say home value is like fair value is $500,000, and when you list that at let's say $400,000, that's about $100,000 less than the fair market value, right? In hopes to get like way more than fair market price, obviously, and hope to get to 550. That's like $50,000 more than the fair market price. So if you price it at $400,000, what's going to happen, in my opinion, is that you're going to get about 20 offers. About 10 of those offers, excuse me, I think you might be hearing one side here. So let me move here. 10 of those offers will be the first time buyers who can maybe afford up to $450,000. So they can come up to 450 with a sort of like a false sense of hope because real market value is about $500,000. And nowadays with the online estimates and things like that, buyers have a good sense of what those homes are really worth within about 15 to 20% plus minus, because those estimates are about accuracy is about plus minus 20% in my opinion. So about 10 of those offers, they're just hopeful, like hoping for this great deal, but they're never going to get a chance. And then about five of the offers are going to come in somewhere in like a 450 and 500. And then the other five will come above that 500 fair market value. So you're really dealing with top 5 offers. The other 15 offers just inflate the number to drum up this urgency, or the value is so much higher kind of perception driving. So at the end of the day, in my opinion, I'll get to the point here. In my opinion, it's better to price it slightly competitive, slightly below maybe like in this case like 475 or 485, so the buyers can still see the value in that, believing that it's $500,000 home listed at 485, and get like 3 to 5 offers who are going to compete against each other and maybe push it up to 525, 535. I don't think there's much difference between listing at 400 because, like I said, about 75% of those buyers are going to go under fair market value with a false sense of hope, and then they're going to drive up. So my point is it's better to price slightly lower than way lower, because if you don't get that 20 offers, you may actually leave money on the table by maybe going up to like 5, 10. And there's a little bit of chance of appraisal issue, because appraiser think that, well, why is it listed at $400,000? I'm going to appraise it at 495. Then you are actually in trouble, because you could have listed at 485 and got, more like 520 appraisal. So that is my thought. The current interest rate is today, the 30-year mortgage is about 7%, and it's going up and down. It went down quite a bit in the last few weeks, and it went down as low as 6.75 yesterday or the day before. And to my message to the home buyers out there is shop around, and shop around more, because some lenders are going to overcharge you. I made a tweet about 2007, the market crash, and when 2010, when it hit the bottom. So I'm gonna share this with you. So in 2007, in the Portland metro, the median price when it was the highest was $310,000. And 3 years later, when it hit the bottom, about 2010, it went down to about $240,000. So that's minus 23%. Now, in 2021, which was like 2 years ago, it went up to $575,000. So in 11 years, it went up plus 140%. So it basically doubled and then added another 40% on top of that. And 2023 current compared to 2021, we're at about $530,000. So we are negative about 8% compared to the peak of 2021. So the question is, in 2024, 5, and 6, how much would it go lower because of the high interest rate environment? We are definitely going down a bit compared to 2021, about 8%, negative 8%. So that was sort of like open-ended question here, but I think we're going to go down a little bit lower, 5 to 10% more possibly. So overall, compared to 2021 peak, we might be about 20, 25% lower, which is similar to 2007 and 2010 comparison. That will be very, some will call it the market crash and all of that. And depending on the state or the city, you may see 35% depreciation, but I don't see that happening. In the Portland metro, the demand is still really high. The worst case scenario, 20%, that's my guess, but I have been wrong, and this is not financial advice, guys. Let's talk about the best return on investment when it comes to home improvement. Not many people talk about this, but the best one is not kitchen. It's not kitchen remodeling. It's not bathroom remodeling. It's not yard remodeling. No, the best one is basically finishing unfinished space, such as unfinished basement or unfinished attic space. As long as the attic space has some high clearance. If it's like a triangle shape with a really low ceiling, I don't see that beneficial. Same thing with the basement. If the basement is like 5 feet tall, that you have to like do this, it's not a good investment. But as long as it's close to like 6.5 or 7 feet tall basement, it's the best investment that you can make. For example, if you had the really cheap way to finish it at like $20,000 investment, and you added a living room and maybe a bedroom and bathroom, that's going to give you more than 100% ROI. If you do it right, I mean, it could give you close to 200%. I could see that happening depending on the neighborhood. Um, but when you do like kitchen remodeling, you can spend anywhere between 20,000 to 200,000 on a kitchen, and you're not gonna get that ROI back. And the best case scenario, you may just get that money back and maybe 50% top. That's like the top. If you spend $20,000, the best case scenario is you get like $30,000. So you make about $10,000. But when it comes to like unfinished basement, especially, I mean, you could like two x or maybe 3x of what you're going to spend. So consider that if you're going to think about like remodeling your home. Now, one quick side note about the texting. This message for the marketers and realtor friends and loan officers and all of you guys who contact sports, that we make money by contacting people and get connected and get earn their trust to sell whatever that we sell. I think texting should be left alone when it comes to blasting. Text should be very individual, very business specific. It shouldn't be a blast, and leave it for the friends and families, communication. Whenever I get a blast text, I get a lot of these. Hey, if you're in the, are you a Portland agent? We have this lead that you can pay us like 20% referral fee. It's automatic junk for me, because text, in my opinion, should not be used as blasting messages. Now, for those home buyers, potential home buyers out there, and who are renting right now and thinking about buying, these three costs you really have to pay attention to, no matter where you are. And depending on the state specific, it's going to be way more important. Am I still live? It looks like I'm still live. So, oh yeah. Um, when you think about the home budget, home buying budget, people a lot of times think about the principal and interest, which is the mortgage payment. Yes, that is the big chunk of the payment. However, some things that you need to really pay attention to. First one is the property tax. Second one is homeowners association fees. And the third one is the homeowner's insurance cost. So let's talk about the insurance cost first. If you're in like Florida, apparently the insurance cost went up like 200% in some areas. You're going to be shocked, because if the insurance cost goes up to, let's say, $2,500 a month because you're in the hurricane zone, your monthly payment went up like 100, 200, $300 a month more compared to like 1,000. So if you're moving from Oregon, you're so used to paying like $1,000 on homeowners insurance, and you move to Florida, you have to pay attention to that insurance cost, because you're going to add another $200 probably a month. The other one is the HOA fees. This pertains more like condos and the townhome, the buyers. Now, the condos HOA fee is typically pretty high. Here in the Portland metro, anywhere between, probably the lowest I've seen is like 300, and then it can go up to like 2,000, 3,000, depending on what's included and how fancy the building is. But let's say it's $500 a month. That includes sewer, water, this and that. That's great, but it never goes down. And that it's $6,000 a year type of cost, which is very similar to property tax at that point. And then the other biggie is the property tax. Property tax here in Oregon, the rate is anywhere between like 1 to maybe 1.5%. Like Multnomah County is notorious for having a high property tax. So they have more taxes than Washington County. If there's some areas actually in like Forest Heights that their home value don't go up as much no matter what they have, because of the high property taxes. There's some homes that are like $30,000 a year type of property taxes, and the house is only worth about 1 point, let's say 6, 7 million. So, for example, if you're moving out of Oregon, you're so used to paying about 1% property tax. You go to Texas, you have to pay like 2.5%. Your property tax jumps double basically. If it's 2% on a $500,000 home, that's like 10,000, right? So instead of paying 6,000, 5,000, so instead of paying about $800 a month, when you move to Texas, you're gonna pay about, what is it? My math, close to $2,000 basically a month. And so I think when you have some of these like property tax, homeowners association, or the homeowners insurance cost, uh, the difference is so big, it can affect your monthly payments significantly. So you need to pay attention to this if you're thinking about buying in your city, state, or especially when you go out of the state. We're heading into about 21-minute mark here. I'll finish up shortly. So it's September. Some of the home maintenance items is that it's a good time to seal your doors and windows. I need to actually do a front door and then the garage door seal, because the gap, uh, when the winter comes, that's where the cold air seep through, raise my heating cost. So I need to work on that. And this might be one of the best times to do a tune-up and maintenance check on your HVAC. HVAC is the heating and cooling system. Because when you try to call during December when your heat goes out, it gets pretty expensive. That happened to me once before, about 10, 12 years ago when we used to live in Southwest Portland. It was really expensive mistakes. I wish I had a home warranty back then. I would have saved about $10,000 if I have home warranty. The last one, with this note, I'll end this video, is that right now there's a lot of negativity out there, and when you listen to those negativity, you're going to subconsciously think negative thoughts. For example, I see like, some people say the the mortgage rate is like 8%. The Gen Zers, Generation Z, will never be able to own a home, which is not true. There are many Gen Zers right now buying homes. So don't listen to negative thoughts, and who you hang out with, I think, really matters. There's a cringe word says it's like your average of 5 people that you hang out with. I think that's the same thing with my message, but it's good to guard against a lot of echo chamber noise out there, because there's a lot of noise out there when it comes to real estate, business, like marketing, uh, of course, politics. I don't even get into politics because there's time waster in my opinion arguing about your politics. But when it comes to business, building business, doing your individual business or doing real estate business, doing your investments, saving money, all of that. There's some great information out there, but you need to cut out like 80% of the noise. So the game is, how do you find the good sources of information? So some of those are my thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video, found something useful, and have a great week. And feel free to ask me any questions if you have any questions about real estate or health related. Did I just say that? Don't ask me about health related. I'm learning too. So thanks for watching if you're still here, and have a great week. Bye.